What's happening, guys? JC back here to talk some movie news as we're going to discuss the July horror movie releases and more here on this episode. If you're a fan of movie news, especially within the superhero, comedy, and horror genres, hit the like button. Be sure you subscribe to the channel. Throw your thoughts in the comments. All the things here. With no further ado, let's talk some movie news. As we lead it off with 5 horror movies that are releasing this month in July, this coming courtesy of Bloody Disgusting. Of course, we have Lockbox, which is in theaters now. You can check that one out if you want to. Carla Gugino in there, along with Catherine Isabel, Lou Taylor Pucci starring in this one. And then, of course, coming this weekend, one of my most anticipated horror movies of the year, we've got Evil Dead Burn coming out, which is, of course, directed by Sebastian Vanacek, following up Evil Dead Rise from a couple of years ago. And then the next Evil Dead movie we're going to get is going to be a prequel. But the trailers for Evil Dead Burn look pretty good, so I'm pretty excited for this one. And then you've got The Bay coming to both theaters and VOD on July 17th. Another shark horror movie here coming at us. And then if you've been a fan of some of these old Disney stories or whatever you want to call them turned into horror movies, you got another one coming your way with Pinocchio Unstrung on July 24th, which I guess is technically the next entry in the Pooniverse. And then last, but certainly not least, one that I think's being underrated because love Sophie Thatcher and pretty much everything she's done thus far. And then also Nicholas Winding Refn. I mean, I know he's hit or miss sometimes, but Drive was incredible. And we're getting Her Private Hell on July 24th. And this is kind of supposed to be Nicholas Winding Refn's take on like a Giallo style horror film. So I'm really excited to see what he does with this and looking forward to Her Private Hell. But there's 5 horror movies coming out this month. And then in addition to that, we've got a Blair Witch reboot coming to theaters in 2027, finally getting a release date. And I know there's been some other attempts to bring this back. Personally, I've been a fan of all the Blair Witch movies pretty much. I even like Book of Shadows. It's a guilty pleasure for me. But I think this one's a little bit different because you're bringing back those original cast members from that 1999 movie as producers and being heavily involved in here, minus Heather. She said she didn't want to do it. But you do have a release date here now. As we see here from The Hollywood Reporter, currently no title here. We just know it's going to be a Blair Witch movie. I don't know if they're going to go with Blair Witch Project again. We'll see. But September 24th, 2027 is the release date for the next feature coming out for Blair Witch. And then, of course, if you hadn't heard the news, this also from The Hollywood Reporter, How the Grinch Stole Christmas sequel in the works. Ron Howard returning to direct and Jim Carrey allegedly returning to star as well. So I don't know what you're going to do with the sequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I mean, the story's pretty much been told. We'll see where they take it, but I'm all for more Jim Carrey, and you got Ron Howard back as well. So with that original creative team back, they might make something out of nothing here with this one, and I'm always down to see more Jim Carrey. And then news on a couple of TV series here, one of which being Widow's Bay over on Apple. Know a lot of people are raving about this one. I'm hyped to finally start it here soon. I wanted to finish season 4 of From before I dove into it, but I'm definitely going to be checking it out here in the near future, and it has been renewed for season 2 as Bloody Disgusting shares here. And then another one that I'm really hyped for because I've been waiting on it because I loved season 1 so much. Took me back to the old days of Batman the Animated Series, and that's Batman Caped Crusader on Prime, and season 2 is coming later this month. 10 episodes, Bloody Disgusting sharing this as well. They will all drop on Prime, all 10 episodes at once on July 31st. So if you're a fan of Batman Caped Crusader, we got more coming later this month. And then let's talk box office numbers from this past weekend as we look at the top 10 domestic from the weekend of July 3rd, of course. And we have Minions and Monsters at number 1, Toy Story 5 dropping to number 2, Young Washington at 3, Supergirl down to number 4, Disclosure Day coming in at 5, Obsession at 6, Backrooms at 7. Crazy, they're both still in the top 10. Obsession just crossed 400 million worldwide on a, what was it, $750,000 budget. I mean, less than $1 million to make. Still such an incredible amount of money that they've made on such a low budget with that movie. Jackass Best and Last at 8, Scary Movie at 9, and The Invite at number 10. And then it's Monday, so you know Blu-ray release day is always on Tuesday. And here's what's coming tomorrow, coming out this week. And if what PlayStation and Sony just announced isn't any evidence more than ever that you should buy physical media while you still can, I don't know what is. Definitely buy physical media, guys. But we have The Elephant Man coming out. Looks like a steelbook there for Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead as well. The Drama, the Zendaya and Robert Pattinson movie, is coming out on Blu-ray. You got Johnny Depp's Dark Shadows. You got The Getaway, the Alec Baldwin movie there coming out this week on Blu-ray. Dead Man's Wire coming out, among some others. The Crow's Salvation out on Blu-ray there. That's the Kirsten Dunst Crow movie. So there's some Blu-ray releases to look forward to if you're into any of those titles as we wrap up today's Movie News Daily Show. Appreciate you guys checking this one out. As I said at the beginning, be sure to subscribe, especially if you're a fan of horror, comedy, superhero genre. Talk those a lot here on the channel. I'm going to try and get back to talking to more here in the near future. Be sure to throw your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate you tuning into this one. I'll catch you on the next one.